Honk honk! Hi again, it's me, Miss Bill, and everybody wants to share what they think about the unpopular opinion that drag is clowning. This time I'm going to be talking with one of my besties. It's pro Ringling Brothers clown and thespian lesbian, Rosie McQueen! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hold on to your hats. It's Rosie McQueen.
Yeah, that's me. This little old grandma, just 21 years old over here. I grew up in Sonoma County, which is about an hour north of San Francisco. I was not really exposed to drag culture until I moved to San Francisco.
Have you ever done drag?
I've done a little bit, not in the traditional sense of drag for most people, but when I was in college, I did a lot of theater and I did a lot of Shakespeare. And I was lucky to be part of a production of The Taming of the Shrew, which was done with an all-female cast instead of an all-male cast. Most of us, myself included, had to get up into some drag king goodness to do the show. I had a cod piece because it was traditional Shakespeare, and that actually was just like a padded little triangle of cotton that went on the front of my crotch. But then for authenticity, a lot of us chose to pack. We went to a queer sex shop and we all went shopping.
Go big or go home. Were you packing heat?
I went for sort of modest. I had a prosthetic mustache and goatee and a wig that was much shorter than my natural hair. Wait, hold on a second. All right.
Are you good? What made you become a clown?
Well, when I was in college, I often found myself getting not those nice ingenue roles. You know, I can't imagine why. But I was often getting the comedic relief. You know, the old grandma, the funny parts. And that kind of got me more interested in the comedy side of theater. And from there, I took some classes on creative movement and comedy and clowning and just got really interested in that and ended up dropping out of school. Don't drop out of school, kids. Dropped out of school and went to clown school instead. I went to the San Francisco Clown Conservatory. And from there, I ran away and joined the Circus. And that's where I met Miss Bill.
I loved being on tour with you in the Circus. One of my favorite memories of it was when we got to do our gag together in the center ring on the Lyra. You and I were pretty brave, getting hoisted up 40 feet in the air. And I have got to applaud your thighs because you held me upside down by my ankles with your thighs, and that is a feat in itself, so bravo.
Thighs of steel right here. That's me.
There were sometimes male clowns that were playing female parts, even though there were female clowns a part of Clown Alley. I really want to know what you think about being a female and then not being used.
You know, as far as the structure of the gag and the comedic outcome, I tried not to let it bother me. To be honest, it is something that people still find funny. From the aspect of being like one of only two girls sometimes, and then not getting to be a part of the act. It's hard to be mad when it's for the sake of the show. You want the show to be the best it can be. If that's what gets a laugh, then that's what gets a laugh. Like a lot of people like to say girls aren't funny, girls can't be funny, so we're gonna have the guy do it. I don't even think it's about that in clowning. Like, there just is something funny about seeing a big, tall, burly dude with some big old fake boobs and a big wig and trouncing around in a dress. That's funny to people. dragisclowning.
Do you think you'll ever explore being a drag king more?
I think definitely if I decided to pursue drag, whether it was as a drag king or even being a larger than life drag queen version of myself, I would definitely be somebody who brings the funny. All types of performance can be influencing and helping other types of performance if we look at them that way. But if you're bringing comedy into it, then I'm sorry, but it's part of clowning. I did go to drag bingo regularly before the pandemic started. The queen who ran the drag bingo that I went to, Miss Pearl, she's definitely a comedy queen. Her makeup is very big and bold and fun, and she has a hairstyle that's actually very similar to mine, like a nice big platinum blonde, larger than life updo, and she's definitely the comedy relief. Like, I would definitely call her a clown queen.
I love me a good clown queen. I'm gonna have to check Miss Pearl out, especially because she has the same first name as me.
It's been really fun to see you bring elements from your clown life, which is where I know you from, and bring them into your drag life and see the cross section, see the similarities in your makeup style, your costuming style, all these different aspects that I'm used to seeing you with clown. Seeing you bring those over into drag has been a lot of fun.
Rosie, you are one of my besties, so you know me better than way more people. What are similarities that you see between Miss Bill and who I am as a clown?
Well, first and foremost, you are just a larger than life personality, whether you have makeup on or not. I see so much of your actual personality in both your clown and your drag persona. I see who you are elevated to like the 100th degree when you have the makeup and the wigs on, whether that's clown makeup and wigs or whether that's drag makeup and wigs. It's just you to the nth degree.
I think that the most important thing that a clown or a drag performer can have is a big heart. And I know that you have a big giant heart, and that's why I love you so much. Oh my God, sometimes I'm just so sweet that like I just make myself cry. Rosie, I'm really relying on you to edumacate me a little bit about some of this Shakespeare stuff.
Well, I am so glad you asked that, Miss Bill, because I am a little theater nerd over here. And this is actually something I thought was correct until I did a little more research, but a lot of people say that the term drag itself comes from Shakespeare, that back in Elizabethan times, in Shakespeare times, women were not allowed to perform. It was not a profession that women were allowed to hold. So in theatrical productions, every part would be played by a man. So there is this like idea that in Shakespearean times, they would write D-R-A-G for a character, that the character comes in dressed resembling a girl, and that's where drag came from. In actuality, that is not true, although it is very cute, and although men did play women's roles and did come onto the stage dressed resembling a girl, the term actually comes from the late 1800s, when it was very common for men to play women's roles in theater for comic relief. And so the term drag actually comes from their long dresses dragging on the floor. And then the slang began that when a man was playing a woman's role, he was in drag because he was in a costume that would be dragging. It was also very common in that time for women to do drag as men on the music hall circuit. So like sort of the equivalent of the American vaudeville era, in a time when women would not be permitted to wear pants. It was very bold and very avant-garde and a style of performance to see women appear in men's clothes. And they would sing songs about wooing the ladies. That's basically being a drag king. today.
This stuff is so fascinating.
It's my goal to always make you smarter, Bill.
You called me Bill, and the reason that I chose Miss Bill as my drag name is because my deepest, closest friends call me Bill. I really do feel like I'm being one of the truest versions of myself when I'm being Miss Bill, because I don't have certain filters that are up in front of me that are there when I'm being my clown character. You were always my little clown girlfriend.
You're my little clown boyfriend.
Oh, well, I'm a little bit more your type in this getup.
Still not quite.
Okay, Rosie McQueen, tell my followers where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on Instagram. It's mostly pictures of my dog, but she's real cute. I am also on Twitter, and I also have a podcast. It is called Pass the Hot Sauce, a Roswell podcast. It is talking about the 1999 WB series Roswell, which maybe dates me a little bit. If you like 90s TV and melodramatic aliens, please tune in to Pass the Hot Sauce as well.
Well, that's a wrap. Thanks so much, Rosie McQueen.
You're very welcome, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Okay, give me a kiss.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Bye. To be or not to be a drag clown? Let us know in the comments below.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Oh yeah, I've got one more thing for you.
No, my windows are open. I was about to do the same. your little, like, half A cup boobies. Your little tiny boobies. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Mine are better.
Just two girls comparing breast sizes.